Let's try to stay everyone together, everyone fighting through this. We will be able to make it. So I owe you this video because I created the video in Spanish and I never posted the one in English. Excuse my backgrounds and everything because I'm working from my kitchen this week. So I'm working from home and we're trying to get set up and do what everyone is doing out there. So I'm going to talk less about the situation because we know, all of us know what's happening out there. We all know the numbers. I mean, we're worse than everyone in the world right now. Thank God the people in the hospitals have done a tremendous job trying to keep the losses low. And we have had success with that. But whoever is listening, we're doing our part. Let's keep doing it. It's gonna get into possibly the worst 2 or 3 weeks, but that's the intention, that if we're able to make it through this peak, we might be able to start getting out of it or reducing the numbers. It's going to take a lot of effort from everyone and a lot of cooperation. So again, I'm asking you through here to stay inside, to stay home. There's a lot of places now offering delivery, a little better than last week. Usually the smaller stores are a little better about that, so look into those. Especially if you're over 60, people like us, a little younger, we can recover depending on the situation. But if you're aged, try and take care of yourself because it's a little worse in that situation. Remember that if you're coming in and out of the door, you might be carrying this with you. Anyone that comes in out of the door, you may be carrying, whoever you come into contact with might be carrying it. So whatever the advice is out there, try and follow it, try and pay attention. Some of us, because of our business, the nature of our business, are forced to go out. I've been forced to get out, but I try to stay in the car, or stay covered with a scarf, taking my distance from people. It's really, really crucial that these next 2 weeks we pay more attention. Refrain from doing the things that are really not important. For example, your car is not important right now. Maybe working in your house outside will help you a little bit to de-stress and stuff, but there's things that you don't need to be doing out there in contact with people. Because right now they're not needed. Right now we just need to get through this situation. Also, if you feel that you have the symptoms, you're only supposed to go into the hospitals if you cannot take it, right? If you cannot take the symptoms. Otherwise, the same thing, you just be spreading it out there. So we all already know that, and hopefully everyone is keeping informed. Also, try not to watch a lot of news because all those things will get to your head and make you more anxious. Try and look for the information you need, but then otherwise refrain from, some of us like numbers, we like news. But if you feel anxiety from that, there's no need to do it. Everyone knows what's happening every minute, through social media. And a lot of it in social media is incorrect, including advice as to what we're supposed to do. So try and follow the source or try and get official advice on what's going on. Especially health advice. There's a lot of misinformation related to health or how we can fight this, like a flu, but different, right? Like a flu on steroids. So just keep taking care of your immune system. As they say, wash your hands, keep your shoes outside, try to stay away from all germs possible. Unfortunately, right now, that's the one thing we can do. It's not exaggerated. It's actually what the doctors are advising, and they're saying that it's working, so we must follow it. Drink a lot of water. Other things, they're not proven. Nobody validates if they're true or not. So I feel that a lot of people are going out there to the stores without needing it. I'm sure we all are stocked in our homes as far as supplies that we need, as far as food. So we don't really need to be going out there every time, especially right now. I wouldn't be going into the pharmacies unless you really, really, really need it. Anyone in that pharmacy might be carrying it inside the pharmacy. So try not to. Just avoid things that you don't need right now. In general, this problem, it's a global problem that has brought a lot of lessons to us. One of those lessons is always be prepared. Like the Boy Scouts always have funding, savings. Um, Everyone understands that for some people, the situation is very unfortunate, that they're without a job, they're without food, and we're gonna try and hopefully help each other, or hopefully, there's some government help that these people can apply for, things like that. But in general, the lesson that this is giving us is always be prepared for what may come in the future. Savings in the form of bank savings, cash savings, adapt, be prepared, a lot of things that we used to take for granted or that we took as easy are not there anymore. So we just have to change the picture, change the tape, readapt. This is a situation that is inviting us to make a lot of changes. Maybe for a reason, maybe we need to learn from those different changes. When it comes to the financial point, if you can pay your debts, pay your utility bills, because if you let them pile up, it might be worse later in the future to try and resolve them. If you definitely don't have next month to pay anything, don't, some of the utilities are for companies are forgiving late fees, they're forgiving unpaid bills for this month and next month. I understand some of the companies are actually giving people breaks and the payments. There's rumors about the government paying rents or paying utilities. So far, that's only a rumor, and it hasn't happened. We know that the most recent help from the government comes in this stimulus package that the Congress enacted, or the Congress is making a law. A lot of this help hasn't gotten to the state yet. It might take a while for it to get there, and they're talking about later on. I'm going to have a video with more details about it, but they're talking about in general $1,200 per taxpayer per house. A lot of the people qualifying for unemployment can get their regular unemployment, which is usually half of their pay, plus $600 extra from the government. But again, that will come in the future. Just be patient. Hopefully there are some savings for you to get through these 2 months. If not, reach out for help. So anyway, the idea is that if you have, I don't know, $18,000 in the bank, and you can cover with that amount of money your monthly expenses, or at least 3 months of expenses, you shouldn't need any help out there. Help will come eventually, but for right now, we need to be conscious about others. And if you do have extra money, please help your neighbor. What I was saying in my video in Spanish is that I think this situation is forcing us to reflect a lot, to reconsider what we're doing, how we're helping or not the world. Because, in the big picture, this is a global crisis affecting absolutely everyone in the world. Nobody is escaping this crisis, really. The most vulnerable people are the ones usually losing the most. But tell me if you're not losing if you're a golf course. Tell me you're not losing if you're a wedding venue. Tell me you're not hospitals. My God, they're flooded. Insurance company. Everyone across the board is losing money. And it really, this change, this problem that we're facing is inviting everyone out there, from business owners to bar owners to employees, to ask ourselves, what have we really done? What have we really given the world? Have we donated to hospitals before? Right now, people and businesses and scrambling for employees. Have they been grateful enough to their employees? How are we cooperating to keep the status quo? Because obviously this is a chaotic situation, right? And none of us asked for it. So maybe this is the, we don't have to believe it, but maybe there's a reason why this is happening and how we need to reevaluate what we're doing, to think that we're not individuals out there, that we're actually together and the world is together in this problem. Nothing more powerful than this could have equalized our situations any better, as painful as it is. Some of us also believe that this is a moment in history in which all the structures that we were applying to things have to be truncated or destroyed. For example, more aligned to what the new generations believe. Believe it or not, our new generations do not have any problems. They don't have any problems with race. A lot of them don't have problems with statuses or social classes. They are a lot less complicated than the adults. And it is really an invitation to think what we're doing, if we're happy or not, how can we change it, how can we become better, how can we take a look into ourselves and come out with a much better solution than this problem, because we're able to do it. We are creatures that are able to think, and we're able to think, how do I take this opportunity to help the people that I'm used to helping get better? Or how do I become better myself? It's an opportunity to leave greed aside and start searching for balance. There's no reason why smaller organizations, small churches aren't able to provide health insurance for community members. It's expensive. But without us putting a little bit from ourselves into the problem, it's never going to get solved. How do we lobby for universal healthcare? We see a healthcare system that is possibly the most advanced in the world, but that still doesn't have people insured, that still is unable to cover people. And look, we still don't even have enough beds, right, for this kind of pandemic. No one in the world does. But there's a lot of countries out there that still provide coverage. And this is a situation that is forcing us to think that we really need that coverage, not just for ourselves, but for everyone else. So a lot of thinking in that ground and every other social aspect that we interact with. So take this opportunity, take it, and if you don't agree, let's talk about it. Let's get to a solution that's going to help everyone. In the meantime, stay home, stay grounded, stay healthy, take a lot of walks outside. So long as you're not around with other people, you should be fine, and do it before it is prohibited. Hopefully it won't be prohibited. But sending a lot of hugs and inviting you to reflect in this situation. Wait for my video on resources, which will be coming, more on financial resources and stuff. For right now, I advise you to check your mortgage companies online, your banks, your credit card, banks that are sponsoring your credit cards, because a lot of them have offered ways to pay or fee removals, including interest freezes. So go online or call your bank. I'm sure everyone else is calling, but try and check it out so that you can take advantage of these before you make your payments. All right. Love you all. Take care. Bye.